Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is a Python level 4 class. So let's just review what we did last week. Let me share my screen. Okay. We learned the variable scope last week. So let me ask you several questions. Python level 3. Sorry, kid. Thank you. Okay, so how to change the value to a global variable in a function? How do I do that? Do you guys have any idea? You define it outside, and in the function you need to use global and then that variable. Okay, if you do it that way, you can change its value. If you do not use global and you just use the variable and assign it to a new value, that will make that variable a local variable. Okay, so be careful to that. All right, so today we are going to learn a new skill. So what is that? It is called a module. We learn the code block, function, and the class. Usually these code blocks cannot be split. They have to stay together. So for an application that needs to achieve a complex goal, we need some other high level of code organizations. So what are that high level? So as your program gets longer, you may want to split it into several files for easy maintenance. You may also want to use a handy function that you've written in several programs without copying its definition into each program. So that means you do not want to define that function in all your program files. So how can we do that? How can we achieve that? Okay. To support this, Python has a way to put the definitions in a file and use them in a script or in an interactive instance of the interpret. So such a file is called a module. So what is a module? So if you come to the PyCharm, okay, if you come to PyCharm, you see each file I have here, each Python file I have here, it is a module. So if I right click on this module, this package and say new Python file, actually you create a module. You create a module, okay? In the Python, a module is just a Python file, okay? It's a Python file. So when we create our first Python project, we also create a module. See the file in your PyCharm I just showed you. So every file in Python is called a module, okay? So a module is a file containing the Python definitions and the statements. The file name is a module name with the suffix of the py appended. So why do we need a module? Because you can reuse the code and the other developers can also use your code. So if you develop a module, then you can give your module to other people. other people can use your code directly. So can you guys go to the shared Google Drive and find this file called fib.py that I give to you, okay? Go there, see if you can find the fib.py. Let me go there. Supposed to be there. Let me just scroll down. Let me just make this a list. All right, so let me sort by name. When you say fib, here, go to get this one, fib.py. So let me open this one, okay? So fib.py is look like this. So it only has two functions. One is the fib, one is the fib2. It just different two functions in it. Can you guys go ahead and get it? So it's directly under the folder, the shared folder. Can you share your screen to me, Adrian?
I have multiple folders.
Okay.
Wait, what is it called?
Okay, I do not have a code. I think you need to search for Java. See if you can, yeah. Just hit enter. Okay, let's see. I did not share it with to anyone. I did not share it. So I just make it available to everyone if you have the URL. If you don't have it, let me give you the URL. Okay, this URL. So all the materials for my class, it's available in this shared Google Drive. So can you guys bookmark it? So let me give you this. Click on it. All right. Go ahead and get that FIP file. So now what I ask you to do, copy the fib.py file to the Python folder you installed. So where you install the Python? To me, I install my Python here. So in my E drive, and I have a Python. I installed it here, so that's why I copy. Okay, I can copy my fib file here. All right. So can you guys do that? Let me copy my fib file. I copy it, and then go to Python folder and I put it here. You see, I have my fib file here. Please do that. All right. So if you if you see that, so let me just show you. In this module, it's called a Fable, okay? In this module, I only have two functions. One is FIB, and you pass in a number. It will print out those numbers, okay? Print out the B value. Okay, the second one called a Fable2. So when you do that, it will return you a list of the values. It will return the Fibonacci series up to n. Okay. Here it will just print out the value B. Okay. All right. So if you see that now, look at my screen. I am in my Python folder. So let me double click on python.exe. This is a Python interpreter window, right? You have to copy the file here. So if you have that, you see what I'm going to ask you to do is that you do the import. So import this module with the following command. So a module must be in the path that Python knows in order to import it. So that is why I ask you to copy that file and put it into the Python folder. So here is the same folder as python.exe. So now let's do this. Import Fable. Please do this, everyone. After you import, you see what we can do now. So when the module name is imported, the interpreter first search for the built-in module with that name. If it does not found, it then searches for a file named blah blah blah.py in a list of directories given by the variable sys.path. Okay, if you do not have a built-in module called Fable, so you see import Fable. If you do not have such a built-in module, then Python will try to search such a file, Python file, in all these directories. So what are those directories? So let me give you a command. You will say what directory that the system will search for. So let me give you this, okay? So you just import sys, and then you try to see what is in this variable, okay? So let me give you this code. All right, do that. So let me do it here. You say I imported a fib. Okay, now let me import sys. Okay, import the sys module. So now let me ask it, what is the path in sys module? That's a property. It's a list. Okay, this is a list. So let me print it out. You will see that the system is going to look into eDrive Python 38.zip. It will look in the Python DLLs. Okay, it will look in the Python lib, and then just the Python folder. Then the Python lib set packages. So it's trying to look into all those folders, trying to find the file that matches this name called FIBO, because we put it here. So that's why it found it. If you do not have it, let me just trying to do something strange, okay? Let me say import Shuzu. If I hit it, it will tell me there's a problem because I do not have such a Python file in any of those folders. I don't have it, right? The system will first search for the built-in module. If it does not find it, then it will look for such a file, Python file, in those locations. If it does not find it, then you have a problem. If it finds it, that's great. So it imports it, right? So all the code that you write in the fib.py now is loaded in your system's memory, in your computer memory. All right. So let me stop here to see if you guys have any problem. Eddie, do you mind to share your screen to show me if you can find all the sys.py? Does your system print out?
So I'm in a bit of a situation where my house lost power and I'm using a laptop that doesn't have PyCharm, and so yeah.
Okay, does it have Python?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. How about you, Kate? Kate, does it work for you? Yeah, can you share your screen to me, Kate? Okay, so where's this file? You are using an okay. All right. Must be in your downloads. Yeah. Okay. Then can you copy it? Right click and copy it. All right. So after you copy it, can you go to your PyCharm now? You cannot do copy, right? Can you? So you on the pop-up menu, you see you have a copy fib.py, right? Move down a little bit, move more, down three more, you see copy fib.py, right? Yeah, click on it. All right, you go to your PyCharm. Can you go to your PyCharm now? So where's your code? All right. Okay, so okay, do not name your Python file class.py. Anyway, now can you move your mouse to forward AOE on the left panel? Right click on it, AOE. Done. You see you have AOE.com. Yeah, more, down 2 level more. Should be in the same folder as your class.py or codeflow.py. Yeah, there, okay. And see paste. All right. So now see okay. All right. Can you right click on your class.py? Right click on it. Right click on it. Rename it. Yeah, refactor. Rename. Give it like an a different name, AOE class. You can do it that way. Okay. No space in it, one word. Right. Right. Okay, now go to that file, AOE class, open it, and you say import fib. Import fib. Import. Import, that's what I want you to write. Import table. FIBO, yeah, okay. So now if you run it, you should be fine. You will not have a problem, okay. All right, so it's finished. Okay, all right. All right, so I showed you what locations you have now. So now let's move on. So usually the Python library is located in the side package folder within the Python install directory. So where it is, okay, let me show you where it is. So this is my Python folder. If I click leave, okay, and then you click on side packages, you see all the packages tools for Python actually are installed here in this folder. Okay, they're installed here. Okay, so that's what I meant. You can also copy your fable.py file to that folder as well. The system will be able to find it. So if you do not want to copy, then you need to append your own location to this list, sys.path. Okay, you just use append. So this will be the new location you want to add to the system. If you add it, then the system will be able to find your module. Then you just use import my module, okay? The module you have. You can solve that problem. One solution, copy your file to those locations. Another solution, if you do not copy, you need to change the system path. So you add one more entry to it. Then the system will be able to find your module, okay? So within the module name as a string is available as a value of the global variable. So what does it mean? Okay, let me show you. So fable dot underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Let's see what it is. The name is the fable, right? Then you will ask me, why do you show me that? The module is called fable. Of course, the name is fable. No, not really. Okay. Many it is called fable, but in some situation it is not. It is not. And that situation will help us a lot. Okay, so that's what it meant. So within the module's name as a string is available as the value of the global variable. So this is the global variable, okay? So you can use it. You can use it. Okay, now after you import it, you can use it, right? So now in my Python interpret, you say I can call it fable. I know it has a function called a fib. So let me see what is the value for this one. I just call this function. You see what I got. That's what I got. Okay. That is what I got. So after you import the module, you say you can use the function defined in the module. So think about this. You will ask me what's significant here. Why you show me this? I can write my own function. I use it. So what's difference here? This is very different. That means you can use other people's Python application. You can use other people's Python code. You can use other people's Python code. You see this Fibo.py file. Let's make it up. Let's pretend it is written by Smith. And Smith gave me that file. So now I put it into my computer so I can directly use it. Right? So that gives you a way, if you develop an application and you test it, if it works, now you can give it to your customer. So your customer can use it. So let's say your application can write emails to all students in a school. So now you give that application to the school now can just use your code, your application, and get things done, right? So we know that Fibo has another function called Fibo2, right? So let me just do this. Let me see what I got. This is what I got. I got a list because obviously Fibo2 return me a list. It append B to the list. Once it finishes, then it returns, right? So you see the code is developed by other people. You can use it. I already showed you guys this one. Okay, that's the name. So if you intend to use a function very often, you can assign it to a local variable. So this is what I'm doing here. So I can just let me be more specific. Let's say now I send this one to Shuzu equal to Fibo dot Fib. Okay, that's the function name in the Fibo module. Now I assign it to my name. So now I can use Shuzu dot 20. You see, it prints out all those numbers for me. So the example here is that you assign Fib to the Fib variable. So Fib now is a function in the module. So you can call it directly. All right, let me stop here. So to see if you guys have any question. Does this make sense to you? Adrian, does it make sense? Okay, Eddie, does it make sense to you? Okay, good. Let's move on then. We are learning how to use other people's work, right? So that prepare us to the next class, you know. So now a module can be used by other Python code if the module is imported using keyword import. That's what we did, right? You import other people's code. So an imported module is not executed unless they are standalone statement. So what does it mean? In this module, we do not have standalone statement. We only have the function, right? We only have that. But if I have a standalone statement, then when you do import, it will execute that statement. So what does it mean? Let me show you. Let me go to Python. Let me open this file. Let me edit it. Okay, let me use Notepad. So let me put in a standalone statement. I will say print will come to favor. Okay, so this is a standalone module or standalone statement. So let me save this code now. So now if I do import Fable, let me import Fable. Now, you see what I got. It executed that statement and it says, welcome to Fable. So usually when you write a module, you may not want to have a standalone statement. So that's why we usually do not do that. But how can we execute the code? How can we execute the code? Right? So there is a variety of the import, okay, statement that imports names from a module directly into the importing module's symbol table. So what does it mean? For example, okay, different imports. You see from Fable, import Fable2. If you do that, now you can directly using Fable2, like this one. All right. So you use a from import. So you are importing here, you only import this function and this function. If you have another function in this module, that function is not imported. It is not imported. Okay. You only imported those two. So you can directly using this one. You do not have to put like a Fable.fib. You don't have to, because you already imported, so you can directly using its name. All right, let's move on. So it is also possible to import all names from a module into the current namespace by using from module name imported asteroid. So that way you imported everything in that module, so you can use its name directly, like a fib. Okay, fib2, you can directly use it. Okay, and here you can create an alias when you input a module by using the as keyword. You say import Fable as FB. So now you use FB.fib. So FB now refer as this one. So you do not use the Fable anymore. You use FB. Okay. So there are different ways to import. Whichever is convenient to you, you can use it. Okay. This one is that if the module name is long and you want to have the convenience, so that's why you use as this name, so you can use it, right? That's a convenience it uses. So here, when you do import, so be aware that conflicts may arise if you only import names when the multiple modules have some function using the same name. So you wanted to avoid it. So if you are importing like 3 modules, So one module has a function called sum. Another module has a function called sum. So then there's a conflict. So if you have a functions with the same name from two different modules, and if you do not use full qualified name, then the one that is imported later will be the one being used in the execution. So which one is imported recently? Which one will be used? Okay, so be careful on that. Alrighty, next one. So this just explained to you. So say fib function in the Fable module prints the Fable numbers. Another fib function prints out a hello world. The order of import fib makes difference if you just use FIB in your code. Okay? You are recommended to use fable.fib instead of just fib to avoid the conflicts. All right, hold on. Can you guys give me your answer in the chat window? All right, you have the right answer. Here is the right answer. Good. Okay, next one. Okay, I get one answer, get two answers. The right answer is A, because this is the module name, ADDER, adder. From adder, you imported this function adder. So A is the right answer. Okay. What? This one. So when we say output, you just key the main one. So this will import the module and run it. What will be the result? Okay. Think about this. If I get two answers, the right answer should be 149. Why? Because you see in your main and you imported change. This module 1 change, this module 2 change, and you did not qualify. So that means the change you are going to use is defined in the module 2. And that will be this change is executed. So what does this function do? This function is just to get the square of the numbers in the list. So the actual result should be look like this. It will be a list, and the list value will be okay 1, 4, 9. That will be the result. Okay, that will be the output. And here you notice and list comprehension. Okay. All right. So let's move on. A module can contain executable statements as well as function or class definition. These statements are intended to initialize the module. They are executed only the first time the module is imported somewhere. Try one to see what happens. Say print fib2. Okay. So I can try this. All right. I have not imported a fib2, right? So then I have to use print fib fib2 50. Okay. So that's what I got. Fine. So this is how to execute the function. But to run the module in the DOS window Python, I think this is too complicated to you guys. Let me skip it. Let me skip it. All right. So to make the module executable as an exe file in the system, okay, just as if you imported it, please add a method with the name set to main. So this is the situation that the module name has a different name. It's not called the file name anymore. The name of the module in this situation is always main. Okay, so that's why you see here main. That means that by adding this code at the end of the module, so if you do that, you will make your module runnable, okay, in the DOS window, okay. So what does it mean? Let me show you this example. So for our fib example, you can the file module usable as a script because the code that pass the command line only runs if the module is executed as the main file. So the input will not invoke this statement because the name will not be main. So what does it mean? I will just show you, okay? I will just show you. For our fib example, please add this. And I think it's too complicated to you guys. So I'm not asking you guys to do this one. but just trying to give you an example so it's easier for you guys to try. So let me just do this. See if I have the Fable here. I do have it. Okay. So let me give you this code. And then you can put it in the end of your Fable module. All right. And you do that. Okay. So once you do that, now if I come back to my code flow, so let me just replace all code here. I will just import Fable. Okay. So let me save my code and then let me run it. You see nothing happens here. The code is, oh, sorry about that. I need to run this one. Run code flow. You see nothing happens. Nothing happens, all right? Though I do have a code here in my Fable. I do have a code here. And it's trying to execute it. So if I change this, okay, let me just comment out of this line of code. Okay. If I change this code to Fable, you see what happens. Let me run code flow again. Run it. You see it prints out all those stuff for me, right? Name is Fable. Because when I import Fable, these are standalone code. It will be executed if this condition is satisfied. So when you do import here, the name of the module is the module name, file name. But when you run in DOS, okay, actually the name changed to main. So if I use that in this situation, it will not run because the name is still, Fable. And if you call main, it will not run. So let me show you how can I change that. So let me get this code. All right, let me get this code into my Fable here. Let me close this one and close this one so I can make sure it is this one I changed. I will put in the end of it. And then let me save this code. Save it. So now let me run the command name. Let me run the command name. So if I go there, I go to my E drive. And then now I go to my E drive Python. So, okay. So now I'm in this list, right? In this location. So I can run a Python Fable 50. You see what will happen. Let me see. Python.exe. Oh, Fable. Come on, let me see. Or Fable.py. Sorry. Fable.py. This file 50. So now you make your module and application. So you run it. You see it shows you this name is main. So you have all those print out. So it's a print out like that. Okay, it's printed out here. So what you run it here. So it's in this situation, the name of the module now is called main. So it's a print out this and the print out the fib20. And print out the fib20. All right. Hopefully this makes sense to you, but this is a very advanced to you guys. So that's why I'm not going to talk about too much on it. All right, so let's do that. Let me just go to the next slide. Okay, so we learned all this. So we learned how to run a Python module as an application. We learned how to import a module and then use it. So that's the base for our next class. Next class, we are going to learn Pygame. So I want you guys to be able to run a Pygame. Let me show you how to do Pygame. So this is the one for the level 4 people. You'll see the first statement as import. And once you import it, then you can use a lot of its classes, okay, functions. So that's prepare us for Pygame. All right. So that's all I have. I think I'm not going to touch this. This also are too advanced to you guys. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that's it. It's for today. I'm not sure if you guys are able to do this one. Or I can ask you guys to do this one. So create a module in the file. You will print out the particle triangle with the rule number provided. So deploy the module to a location. Now you can create a batch file that can run the module as a script to print out the particle triangle. I have not taught you guys how to do a batch file, though it's on my scripts here, but I think it's too advanced to you guys. So let me just stop here. I'm not going to give you this homework. It's too much to you guys. Okay, so let's stop here. Let me return the class back to Miss He. We'll stop.